Breaking. What you're about to see has been banned from WWE highlight reels. The company doesn't want you talking about these moments, but we're exposing it all. This isn't your sanitized, PG-rated WWE retrospective. This is the truth they've been hiding. What's up, Wrestle Scope family? And before you even think about clicking away, let me tell you something that's going to absolutely boil your blood. WWE has spent decades trying to rewrite history. They've edited footage, removed entire segments from the network, and pretended like some of the most brutal, most savage moments in wrestling history never even happened. And you know what the worst part is? Most fans today have no idea these moments even exist. I'm talking about moments so vicious, so absolutely savage, that Vince McMahon himself ordered them scrubbed from official records. Moments that made the Attitude Era look like a children's birthday party. Moments that would never fly in today's corporate, sponsor-friendly WWE. But here's the thing. We remember. The internet remembers. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on the most savage, most controversial, most absolutely unhinged moments in WWE history that the company desperately wants you to forget. Hello, viewers. If you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. And I guarantee by the end of this video, you're going to be furious at how WWE has sanitized wrestling history. You're going to comment, you're going to share this, because somebody needs to preserve the real history of professional wrestling before it's completely whitewashed. So buckle up, hit that like button right now if you're ready for the unfiltered truth, and let's dive into the savage moments that WWE buried. Number 1. The Stephanie McMahon wedding abduction. Let's start with something that would get WWE canceled in today's world. November 1999, the Stephanie McMahon and Test wedding angle. Now, here's what WWE wants you to remember. A fun little storyline where Triple H drugged and married Stephanie in a drive-through Las Vegas chapel. They play it off as this edgy, Attitude-era moment that led to one of the greatest power couples in WWE history. But here's what they don't want you to remember: the actual content of those segments. Triple H literally showed footage that implied he had taken advantage of an unconscious woman. Let me say that again for the people in the back. The footage strongly suggested assault. They aired this on national television during family-friendly primetime hours. The wedding photos showed Triple H dragging an unconscious Stephanie McMahon. The implications were crystal clear, and WWE built an entire storyline around it. Triple H became the hero of this angle. He got cheered for this. Now, before the comment section explodes, yes, Stephanie was in on it. It was scripted. We all know wrestling is predetermined. But here's the savage part. WWE took something as serious as drugging and assault and turned it into entertainment. They made it the foundation of a championship storyline. They sold t-shirts based on it. And today, WWE acts like this angle was just two crazy kids falling in love. They've scrubbed the most controversial parts from official compilations. They've edited Peacock uploads to remove the most explicit implications. They've rewritten their own history because they know this wouldn't fly today. But we were there. We saw it happen. And the fact that WWE thinks they can just memory hole one of the most savage storylines in wrestling history, that's what really gets me fired up. This wasn't some rogue performer going off script. This was corporate approved. This was Vince McMahon signing off on storylines that would get a TV show canceled in 2025. This was WWE at their most savage, most boundary-pushing, most absolutely reckless with social responsibility. And the wildest part? It worked. Ratings went through the roof. Triple H became a megastar, and WWE learned they could get away with anything. Which brings us to our next moment. Number 2, the Katie Vick incident. Okay, so you thought the Stephanie angle was bad? You thought that was as savage as WWE could get? Hold my beer. October 2002, Kane versus Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. And WWE decided the best way to build this feud was to accuse Kane of necrophilia. Yes, you read that right. Necrophilia. The storyline went that Kane had accidentally killed his high school girlfriend, Katie Vick, in a car accident while driving drunk. Already pretty dark, right? But WWE didn't stop there. Oh no, no, no. Triple H then accused Kane of having relations with Katie Vick's corpse at the funeral home. And then, and I need you to understand how absolutely insane this is, they aired a segment where Triple H, dressed as Kane, simulated the act in a funeral home with a mannequin in a casket. This aired on cable television. The segment included Triple H in a Kane mask literally getting into a casket with a mannequin and making graphic gestures while yelling, "I screwed your brains out." Because, you know, the mannequin had brains spilling out of its head. I am not making this up. This actually happened on WWE programming. Now here's where it gets really savage. Vince McMahon personally wrote this segment. This wasn't some desperate writer trying to keep their job by pitching shock value. This was the boss, the owner of the company, the billionaire chairman of WWE, deciding that necrophilia humor was appropriate for their wrestling show. Even Triple H has gone on record saying this was one of the worst things he's ever had to do in WWE. Even Kane has said it was degrading. Even Jim Ross, who was announcing at the time, has talked about how uncomfortable everyone was. But Vince thought it was hilarious. He thought this was good TV. And you know what the most savage part is? WWE still has this footage available. They haven't completely scrubbed it like some other moments. They keep it up as some kind of bizarre reminder that they once aired something so tasteless, so offensive, so absolutely beyond the pale that it became legendary for all the wrong reasons. This is the kind of savage moment that defines an era, not because it was good, not because it was entertaining, but because it showed just how far WWE was willing to go to get people talking. And guess what? We're still talking about it over 20 years later. That's how savage and unforgettable it was. Number 3, the Mark Henry retirement swerve. Now let's switch gears from controversial savage to absolutely brutal savage. June 17th, 2013, Monday Night Raw. Mark Henry comes to the ring in a salmon-colored jacket, looking emotional, ready to announce his retirement after 17 years in WWE. And what followed was one of the most savage promos in modern WWE history. Mark Henry stood in that ring and poured his heart out. He talked about his journey, his family, his legacy. He had fans in tears. He had John Cena, his opponent for that Sunday's WWE Championship match, coming down to the ring to shake his hand and pay respect. The entire arena was chanting, "Thank you, Henry." Grown men were crying. This was a beautiful moment. And then, Mark Henry grabbed John Cena and delivered the world's strongest slam, stood over him and growled, "Y'all a bunch of puppets." The place erupted, not in boos, in shock and then respect, because Mark Henry had just pulled off the greatest fake retirement in wrestling history. He worked everyone. He worked the fans, he worked Cena, he worked his colleagues backstage who thought this was real. Now here's why this is savage. Mark Henry knew exactly what he was doing. He deliberately played on the emotions of fans who had watched him for nearly a decade. He made grown adults cry, and then he laughed in their faces. He turned one of wrestling's most sacred traditions, the retirement speech, into a weapon. He weaponized your emotions. He manipulated your feelings, and he did it perfectly. WWE doesn't talk about this moment as much as they should because it exposes something they don't want casual fans to know. Wrestling is designed to manipulate you. It's designed to make you feel things so they can then subvert those feelings for maximum impact. Mark Henry ripped off the curtain and showed everyone how the magic trick works. And then he used that knowledge to hit you even harder. That's next level savage. That's psychological warfare. That's Mark Henry proving he's not just the world's strongest man. He's one of the smartest performers in WWE history. And the fact that WWE rarely replays this in compilations, it's because they don't want every wrestler trying to copy it. They don't want to dilute the power of that moment. They want to keep it special, keep it rare, keep it as savage as it was the night it happened. Number 4, Stone Cold Steve Austin stunning Vince in front of his family. Let's go back to the Attitude Era for a moment that perfectly captures why that period was so savage. 1998, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Mr. McMahon. The feud that literally saved WWE from bankruptcy and changed professional wrestling forever. But there was one moment in particular that stands out as absolutely savage in its brutality. Vince McMahon is in the ring with his wife Linda and his children Shane and Stephanie. He's trying to have a family moment, probably some kind of celebration or announcement. The whole family is there, dressed nice, trying to look like the perfect corporate family. And then, Austin's music hits. Stone Cold marches to the ring with zero regard for the sanctity of this family moment. He gets in Vince's face, and you can see it coming. You know what's about to happen. But here's the savage part. Austin doesn't just stun Vince and leave. He stuns Vince in front of his wife and children. He makes Linda watch her husband get knocked out cold. He makes Shane and Stephanie watch their father get